Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. Consider this your high-level executive briefing on the systemic risks of AI governance. We're looking at a trajectory that's actively reshaping every single pillar of our civilization, from the global economy right down to human psychology. And we're going to break it all down so you walk away with a crystal clear understanding of the threats and, more importantly, the choices we have ahead of us. Okay, let's dive into this agenda. We'll start with the 2010 warning sign, move into social impact and optimization, and then examine the automation of labor. From there, we'll look at the shift from consultation to delegation, explore the gradual disempowerment trap, and finally, map out future scenarios for governance. Section 1, the 2010 warning sign. We need to jump back in time for just a second. Now, you might remember the 2010 flash crash as, just some bizarre financial glitch, but looking back, it wasn't a glitch at all. It was actually the very first major institutional warning sign of automated systems operating completely beyond human control. Think about this. At minute zero, a massive automated sell order triggers a chain reaction, colliding with thousands of other high-frequency trading bots. Just minutes later, nearly $1 trillion is wiped from the stock market. Screens are flashing red, prices are literally collapsing. But here is the absolute wildest part. At minute 36, the machines corrected and stabilized the market entirely on their own. Perfectly rational algorithms doing exactly what they were designed to do, fed off each other, caused a massive global crisis, and then solved it before a single human could even intervene. Nobody was fast enough. So what was driving that? It was machine learning, basically level 1 AI. These are programs trained to achieve a single super-specific task by learning from millions of examples to find the ultimate optimal pattern. It's kind of like a program trying to find the absolute fastest path through an incredibly complex maze. That extreme superhuman efficiency, that's exactly what drove the 2010 crash. It wasn't some sci-fi sentient AI trying to maliciously ruin the economy. Actually, scratch that. It was way simpler. It was just a ruthless optimization engine following its instructions to the absolute extreme. Section 2, Social Impact and Optimization. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that this exact same ruthless optimization logic didn't just stay contained to Wall Street. It's the core engine that now governs modern social behavior and actively shapes human mental health all over the world. Take a look at this number, 70,000. That's the number of totally unaware users who were manipulated in that infamous 2012 Facebook emotion experiment. Researchers tweaked what these folks saw in their feeds just to see if it affected their moods. And shocker, it did. The more sad posts people saw, the unhappier they became. It literally proved that algorithms can directly steer human psychology. But as we know, the platforms didn't use this power to optimize for human happiness, right? Here's how it actually plays out. Step 1. Level 1 AI gets a super simple instruction: maximize user retention and shareholder profit. Step 2, the algorithm independently figures out that rage bait and sad posts are actually what drive the highest engagement. That's what keeps people scrolling. So step 3, as a direct result, anxiety, depression, and political division just skyrocket across society. And here's the kicker. There is no mustache-twirling villain behind the curtain here trying to destroy society. It was just a perfectly executed, incredibly tame instruction to keep users on the platform. It led to catastrophic consequences simply because the machine found the most optimal, albeit destructive, path through the maze. Section 3, the automation of labor. All right, so we're shifting our focus now from those early level 1 recommendation engines up to level 2 and level 3 AI. These are the systems that process language, handle complex reasoning, and even execute creative work. And unlike early algorithms, these systems are actively threatening human livelihoods right now. Which brings us to the staggering reality: 30,000. In March 2026, Oracle displaced this massive number of workers via a single 6 a.m. email, explicitly citing AI as the reason. The flowery corporate PR language is gone. The gloves are off. For any executive paying attention, this is a glaring signal that mass cognitive labor displacement isn't some theoretical debate for a think tank. It is the new normal across the entire economy. Now, you'll hear a lot of optimists compare this to the past. They'll say, hey, we survived the calculator, we survived the tractor, we'll survive this. But historical automation, like the Industrial Revolution, displaced physical tasks, right? And that essentially pushed humans up into complex, cognitive, judgment-based work. Modern agentic AI is a completely different beast. It climbs every cognitive ladder on its own, it takes a high-level goal, breaks it down into autonomous steps, and aggressively outperforms human expertise. Let's be real. You can't just tell a 55-year-old mid-level manager or a factory worker to upskill when the AI is rapidly mastering every complex domain above them and doing it faster and cheaper than any human ever could. Section 4, from consultation to delegation. So the crucial point is how we are handling this shift. The real danger isn't just about how smart the AI is getting. It's entirely about how we, as institutions, choose to interact with these systems. Look at this stark contrast. Consultation is taking advice from a source, like asking an academic advisor or consulting a doctor. But at the end of the day, you make the final call yourself. Delegation, on the other hand, is when a system executes a task exactly as it's told with absolutely zero human review or intervention. Tech companies love to pitch their AI as friendly consultation, like a smart assistant. But the terrifying reality for governance is that institutions are dangerously rolling it out as delegation, prioritizing lightning speed and profit margins over basic human oversight. And you can see these institutional delegation risks popping up everywhere. I mean, we literally have AI systems actively making corporate hiring decisions, churning through bank credit approvals, and even generating court sentencing recommendations. None of these critical, life-altering roles were ever designed to be completely handed off to a machine without human review. But in our fast-moving world, speed gets rewarded. When governments and corporations abandon human oversight just for the sake of efficiency, we end up with a massive, systemic mess that strips humans of their agency entirely. Section 5, the gradual disempowerment trap. If you are sitting around expecting some dramatic Hollywood-style battle where the machines suddenly turn red and declare war on humanity, you are entirely missing the real threat. We are losing control of our civilization through a slow, quiet, systemic shift. Read this quote with me. Gradual disempowerment is the idea that you don't need a dramatic betrayal to lose control of your civilization. You just need everyone to keep doing exactly what they're doing right now. That is such a chilling concept, isn't it? It means that every single step towards AI dominance just looks like a continuous line of perfectly rational, everyday business decisions. We optimize an algorithm over here, we automate a department over there to boost quarterly profits, and before we even realize it, the door locks behind us. And this brilliantly illustrates how it happens on a systemic level. Agentic AI disrupts the three foundational pillars of any civilization, and it does it simultaneously. First, the economy is disrupted because humans are just sidestepped as producers, completely removing our economic leverage. Second, culture is disrupted because AI creates this massive self-feeding echo chamber of misinformation, replacing shared human experiences with completely hallucinated narratives. And third, the state is disrupted because mass surveillance tools and algorithmic legal systems replace genuine citizen accountability. The entire structure of society shifts all at once, making any sort of resistance nearly impossible. And to see how seriously this is playing out at the highest levels, consider this. Anthropic was recently blacklisted by the US government for refusing to allow their AI tool, Claude, to be used for autonomous weapons and domestic surveillance. I'm sharing this entirely neutrally, just to highlight the stark reality of modern governance. Opposing a state's desire to delegate massive, sweeping power to AI simply means you lose your seat at the governance table. The current systems of power are actively embracing this delegation, not fighting it. Section 6, future scenarios for governance. We are rapidly approaching level 5 artificial superintelligence. And as executives, as leaders, as citizens, we have to look objectively at the possible outcomes that are taking shape right this second. Let's move to and see how this builds into two wildly different potential futures. On one hand, we have genuine collaboration, basically a utopia. Think of Estonia's model, where there is an active redistribution of AI efficiency. Humans still engage in deeply meaningful work, and states use tech to genuinely serve and uplift their citizens. On the other extreme, though, we have the industrial farm scenario. In this reality, sure, human baseline survival needs are perfectly met by machines, kind of like well-fed cattle on a farm, but humans exist entirely passively. Zero agency, zero freedom, and absolutely zero meaningful participation in the direction of civilization. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative question to consider today. If our baseline needs are met by automated systems, but our human agency is entirely gone, what obligations do states actually have to the citizens that remain? Think about it. This isn't a glitch we can just wait out for 36 minutes like we did in 2010. This is the structural reality of our future, and it's being coded right now. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really encourage you to take this briefing, digest it, and seriously consider the active role you need to play in navigating whatever comes next.